This is 7 National News, and in our top story. The UAE Cabinet has endorsed the launch of corporate happiness and positivity initiatives in the UAE federal government. The meeting, chaired by the UAE Vice-President, Prime Minister and ruler of Dubai, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, endorsed the National Happiness and Positivity Charter, which stipulates the UAE government's commitment through its policies, plans, projects and services to provide a nurturing environment for the happiness of the person, family and community, and to instill positivity as a core value. At the meeting, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid stated that happiness and positivity in the UAE are a lifestyle, a government commitment and a spirit uniting the UAE community. The Cabinet also endorsed a number of initiatives and projects in line with the National Happiness and Positivity Programme submitted by Her Excellency Uhud Hind Khalfan Al-Rumi, the Minister of State for Happiness. The national programme includes the appointment of a CEO for happiness and positivity in all government entities and to set up happiness and positivity councils in them. The Cabinet also endorsed a number of other initiatives related to the development of a medical training facility, as well as reviewing recommendations on a financing mechanism study designed for federal universities and colleges. The Cabinet also approved the 2016 Federal Government Unified Financial System, which aims to enhance the performance of government work and leverage performance and efficiency of employees in the financial field to all selections in the federal government. His Highness Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the Crown Prince of Dubai and Chairman of Dubai Executive Council, has approved the Executive Council Resolution number 6 for the year 2016 regulating carpooling in Dubai. The resolution, which aims to regulate taxi and limousine transportation and combat illegal carpooling, identifies the responsibilities of RTA's Public Transport Agency. These include processing requests related to issuing permits, specifying the number of cars allowed to operate, sign franchise contracts to provide the services of passenger transportation via taxi vehicles or limousines, and assess the efficiency in terms of safety and quality of the service. The resolution prohibits the transportation of passengers against fares in any vehicle without obtaining the required licensing from the RTA, whether this service is provided through phone calls, online, smart apps or any other way. The resolution also prohibits advertising taxi services for unlicensed vehicles in any way or transporting passengers in a taxi without operating the taxi meter. The Khalifa Foundation has announced that it has sent more than 1,000 tons of food to Somalia in response to the drought. According to the Emirates news agency WAM, the UAE relief ship has reached the port of Berbera loaded with 1,060 tons of basic food supplies to be distributed among the Somali people. The contents of the ship will be distributed to people in 3 provinces, including Burao, Sul and others affected by the drought that has struck most regions in Somalia. The food parcels, which weigh 80 kilograms each, contain diet staples such as rice, sugar, flour, dates and milk powder. The Khalifa Foundation said that a team from the organization will oversee the distribution of food parcels to 8,000 families in the provinces and neighboring villages. Somalia's president recently announced that the situation in Somalia is now critical, and without sufficient response from the international community and aid agencies, it could develop into a new humanitarian crisis. Complaints submitted by members of the public to the Ministry of Economy's Consumer Protection Department surged by 22% to 18,637 in 2015, up from 15,221 in the year before. Complaints sent by consumers to the department varied from high prices of goods and products to defects and non-conforming items in cars, spare parts, electronics, mobile phones, furniture, properties and credit cards. According to the annual report issued by the department, complaints about defects in cars topped the list, constituting 24% or 3,927 of the total complaints. The department noted that the second quarter of the year saw the highest number of complaints, accounting for 5,296 or 28.5% of the total complaints received throughout the year. Dr. Hashim Al-Noaimi, the director of the Consumer Protection Department, said that 95% of complaints were settled amicably, while the remaining 5% were referred to the courts. The Roads and Transport Authority has announced plans to include new features in the school transport buses from the 1st of April to improve the level of safety for the passengers. According to the RTA, an electronic tracking system using GPS technology will be operational on the 1st of April. School managements would also be allowed to modify the seating of large school buses to more than 50 seats by fitting them with 2x3 seats with 2 fire extinguishers, 2 attendants and 2 first aid kits. Furthermore, the RTA stated that the 1st of March had been set as a deadline for abolishing the use of minibuses in school transport services, following the 18-month grace period to schools for phasing out the vans from school transport fleets. The Director of Planning and Business Development at the Public Transport Agency was quoted in local reports as saying that the school transport law has played a crucial role in maintaining the safety of different age groups of students using school buses. This is evident from the drop in the number of annual accidents recorded in the sector by 10%. It was also added that the number of fatalities had dropped to 0 in 2015. Failure is only the beginning and the first step towards success. That's the message passed on by the Nobel Prize winners to the university students of the UAE during the Nobel Prize Series held in Dubai. More than 200 students took part in the lectures delivered by 3 Nobel laureates who shared their experiences and insight into their scientific research and achievements. Organized by the Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum Foundation, the Nobel Series was aimed at nurturing the students' creativity while encouraging the younger generation to participate and contribute towards the scientific field. Among the speakers included Martin Chalfie, co-winner of the 2008 Nobel Prize in Chemistry, George Smoot, co-winner of the 2006 Nobel Prize in Physics, and Kurt Wuttrich, the 2002 Nobel Prize winner in Chemistry. While sharing the details of their projects, the speakers stated that accidental discoveries and ignoring previous assumptions have played a major role towards global scientific progress. As part of their advice, lecturers stated that students should never be disheartened by their failures, while they should continue to experiment with their ideas.
One of the ways of coping with failure is to work on several different problems at the same time, because you don't fail with every single one of them. And so if you have one line of research that's working, you continue pushing that, and then if that becomes frustrating, it's still in the back of your mind to keep working on it, but there are other things to work on. Now, I did that when I was a postdoctoral fellow. I worked on a set of mutants. Some of them worked on nerve cell function. Some of them worked on nerve cell development. If the function problem got too hard, I worked on development. If that got too hard, I went and worked on the other thing.
If you're taking enough risk, sometimes you're going to fail. Hopefully you learn a lot from that failure. Generally, people learn more from their mistakes than they learn from their accidental successes or their real successes. So if you learn from your mistake or you've discovered something new at your mistake, that can be a stepping stone to get you a much greater location later. But even if you don't, go forward and keep going and find the tasks that you find interesting and challenging. And that's how you really make progress. That's how you really achieve great things.
While describing the accolade as a mark of recognition, both the lecturers added that the prestige creates a heavy layer of expectations. It was added that the global impact of the work has to be seen for the project to receive the reward, along with a dedication towards its successful delivery, as winning the prize alone does not guarantee long-term funding.
The Nobel Prize, I think, is an unusual prize to begin with, because it is not to the best funded scientist, to the scientist who has the most students, the scientist who has the most papers in the most prestigious journals. It's none of those things. It is to the scientists that have done something that's made an impact, that have taught us something about our world that we didn't know about, or has enabled us to learn more about the world. The Nobel doesn't suddenly say, okay, now I can stop. It simply says, we're recognizing what you did in this past time as something that we think was important for science in general. But all that time in between the discovery and the honor, we've been working on other problems and thinking about them. And so when the prize actually comes, while it's an absolutely wonderful party, it's a great thing, I recommend it to everybody, but it's also not something that stops what you're doing. It simply says, that was nice, now what do you have for us? And you keep going and continue doing the things that you were excited about.
And finally, in the bulletin, as many Gulf countries, including the UAE, observed the Mother's Day today on the 21st of March, a recent global survey shows that average Mother's Day spending this year is expected to reach $19.07 billion, the highest in the survey's 12-year history. With some studies showing that UAE residents lead the Muslim world in spending the largest sum on buying Mother's Day presents. Many malls and retail outlets in the country have dished out exciting offerings for families and tourists on Mother's Day today. According to officials at the Mall of the Emirates, tourists and residents typically spend on chocolates, flowers, gift certificates and health and beauty items on Mother's Day, while many residents also tend to spend some quality time out in the evening at some of their favorite restaurants. As recent global figures of the Mother's Day Index suggest that the annual value of a mother's work has risen by $5,000 in the last 2 years to reach more than $65,000 annually. Many working mothers in the UAE feel that their work is still undervalued. The index uses wage data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics in order to estimate the financial value of a mother's contributions to her household. Although the rest of the world observes Mother's Day on various dates, the Mother's Day is marked on the 21st of March each year in the UAE, Saudi Arabia and Oman, among other Gulf states, and is not officially recognized as a public holiday.
In Majid al-Futim, our aim is always to create great moments for everyone every day. And today is a special day for moms, so our aim is to create great moments for moms. And we have so many offers, so basically people can go to our Facebook pages, for example in City Center Deira, Shandaga, Maisim and Mirdif, including Mall of the Emirates. People can create special greeting cards for their moms, and plus they have the chance even to print this greeting card and bring it to one of our main customer service desk and have a chance to win 5,000 dirhams. We always have a positive expectations when it comes to our visitors, because creating great moments for everyone every day, we aims looking for everyone. But today, creating great moments for moms, I'm confident that today a lot of people will come and take moms to a special occasions somewhere. And Mall of the Emirates always been on top of the list where people choose it as a destination. Taking mom for a day or a night to a 5-star hotel in Mall of the Emirates, plus going to one of the F&B units where they can enjoy having a breakfast or an adventure experience in Ski Dubai.
Today, I'm being very spoilt. I'm seeing Dubai for the first time ever. I'm going to go on the big red bus, and we're going to go probably on the beach route and see all the beautiful beaches, and we're also going to go, if we have time, and have a look at the old city as well, which I'm very interested to see and learn about.
I totally agree, yes. She's also been a stay-at-home mom, and yes, it's a very undervalued profession, but it is a profession. It's not something that is to be taken lightly, and I think every mom should take up this job with a lot of seriousness, and she will reap great rewards. Yes.
Oh, we should be paid lots more. There's no limit. Because, kids are also so conscious these days about what they want, and they're so headstrong. So it's not like how when we were young, we would just do with anything. But these kids, they know I want this brand and this shoe and that. So we need to be paid a lot more, of course.